Happy holidays, and thank goodness we are coming up to the end of 2025. This is Lala with Galactic Zendon, and here's my adorable buddy Zeus, which you may hear him in the background as I'm recording this, as well as the cat. So, here is a video that I put together to go over some of the very special Christmas gifts that I made this year for my family. In 2023, we lost our very last grandparent. Now, unfortunately, we've already lost all of our blood relatives and grandparent wise, and Pinky, who we lost in 23, who this video is pretty much dedicated to, and all these gifts were technically made from, was our very last step grandparent. And again, she, as I said, passed in December of 23. And after she passed, she was in her 90s too. So, woohoo on Pinky. We've actually had a couple of grandparents and great grandparents that have lasted up into the 90s, blood related as well. So, fingers crossed, that we're looking at good, heavy, good lives like that, good long lives like that. And they were pretty good up until the end. No hospice or a lot of hospice or anything like that, no dementia or anything. So, yeah, pretty good leading on up to the end there. And so, as we were cleaning everything out, me being the crafty person that I am, and also I've done jewelry in the past, I knew that I would find something to create with all of the jewelry that I found in her amazing collection. And so I got the inspiration to create charms for everyone in the immediate family who knew her pretty much towards the end and that I knew, I didn't really know of any extended family. Nobody ever came out of the woodworks at the end there, so I think I'm in the clear. So through the video, you'll see there's a few names and relations that pop up with some descriptions, just kind of going for the reason, maybe why I picked colors or, just the theme behind each piece. And outside of the charms, I also wrote a poem that was glued. Yes, that is correct. Glued. Well, in most cards. There was one card that, one type of card I gave a few people that was a little too thin. It was a Christmas tree cutout card, and you couldn't really fit the poem in it. So it was in the envelope. But everybody else did have a card that was big enough for me to glue the poem into. So everybody except for a few folks have the poem forever attached inside of their Christmas card from me. And then attached on the outside was a little see-through bag for most folks, a box for a couple, and those were also wrapped as well because I didn't want anybody to see inside. Because as we were done doing Secret Santaing and as I was going to have the gifts around the house before giving them to people, I didn't want anybody to see what it was or to even give a clue that something was even happening. I only actually told my cousin and his wife what was going on and that I was going to do it, and no one else knew. So after we did our Secret Santa, I made a little surprise announcement that I had things for folks. And after I gave them out, I, politely asked everyone to wait on opening them until after I got through, most of the poem. And by the time I got through a specific portion, they all knew who the poem was about, and a lot of them started ripping into the present. So it doesn't hurt my feelings or surprise me. I was very happy with that response. Even got some tears too, which really made me happy. My cousin In said that tears from them was a amazing sign that I did a great job and that it was very well received. So I was very happy to hear that not only the work that I did on the charms, but also the poem and really everything was very well received and heartwarmingly received also. I really wanted to create a little piece of Pinky that we could all have. So if we ever, just needed a moment to collect ourselves with her or a quick reminder or, just whatever it is that this could bring, I wanted to provide that to my family because we all miss her very dearly. Now, coming up towards the next section of this video is the how to. So this is me creating my charm. I had to create so many of these that I really did not have the gumption to record every one of them being created. So I knew that mine was going to be last. I was going to have more pieces on this one. Unfortunately, my camera did die. My phone died a good, like, I want to say 70% into it. So I did not get the end of it being completed. I'm pretty upset about it, to be honest, because there's like a good hour of film missing. Uh, yeah. So let's just say when I realized that had happened, because when you get into the flow, you get into the flow and it's just I didn't have any interrupters and that was wonderful. And then by the time I was done and I was spent, I realized that my phone was dead. And after looking back through the footage, saw how much I was missing. So bear with me. Unfortunately, that is a very hard lesson learned. I thought I had enough battery, but I guess from now on I'll have to record with a cable plugged in, which I really don't like that because it kills your phone battery way faster than you should let it. So, but enough of the chit chat. I do want to get to the poem part. So, I wrote this poem in a few days. I got the idea for it, and I actually did not think I was going to finish it by the time I needed to start wrapping everyone's gifts because I got all the charms done about a week prior to Christmas, and they just sat on my dresser for a while. And I knew I had all the cards to do, and it was just a lot of tedious work. I enjoyed doing every single second of it, but it always is just kind of dredging once you get up to it. So during that time frame and all of that, I was writing this poem at the same time. And so the poem is called Pinky's Promise. And it highlights a lot of the things that I really loved about Christmas in my younger years. I'd say probably around 9 to 13, 14 were some of the more magical years for sure. So that's around this time that this poem really brought up a lot of memory for me when it came to my family and celebrating and just the different things that I really recall from those time frames. So, Pinky's Promise. It's that special time of year to be thankful for Jesus' birth. Thanks to him, we get eternal life and a few days off work. We'll stop to take pause, rejoice, and give thanks. Maybe ask for forgiveness for those Halloween pranks. Christmas, the Yuletide, has thankfully graced us once again. A special time to write Santa's letter, so make sure you grab the best pen. Be sure to say thanks and give gratitude for what we already have. Only asking for the needs of others, and maybe an iPad. Such a wonderful time filled with family, friends, and furry loved ones, too. Now, though, it's time to drive on to Callahan. Come on, y'all. We gotta hop too. Being a bit of a drive out to an area that's more than a tad secluded. Thankfully, lights brighten the way, solid, twinkling, colored, and white included. Finally, we arrive, and in a hurried beat, we skip to the door. 'Cause just beyond the treats and gifts, there's someone we adore. Jewelry adorned, makeup applied, curled red hair done up, freshly aglow. Perfume wafting through the hallways, she's ready to put on the show. A packed house of everyone, old, young, big, and small. I'll never forget the AC vents being in the floor, not the ceiling or wall. Hugs and kisses, hellos and back pats, with quick little "how you beens?" Before long, it's time to say grace, and everyone grabs a plate ready to tuck in. Warm food in the belly, feeling the love and hearing laughter all around. It's this special moment in time each year I wish I could bottle and pass down. Instead, here is a small token, a promise I've made from Pinky to you. Please cherish it and know that to this family, you are the glue. So that is the poem that I wrote for my family from pretty much Pinky and me to them to go along with the charm. And so as you can see here, we've got the progress going of my charm. And throughout the whole time, I'm always holding it up and moving it, jingling it to make sure that the charm or whatever I'm adding to the piece is laying appropriately and it moves in the correct fashion that I want it to. I must admit that after doing quite a few, I believe 12, mine was number 13, I had a system down and what I liked certain things to look like and how certain charms would lay and where they would lay best. So I'm pretty darn happy with the way that mine turned out, especially with it being the biggest one out of all of them. So this is something that I do often. I've got quite a few left. I've also got a lot of costume jewelry from other projects that I've done, and I love doing things like this. So if you've got costume jewelry laying around, I even do things like this with digital cameras, technology of different things. Like you'll see coming up here, I actually created this picture out of the jewelry left over for my dad from Pinky's stuff. So I can make all kinds of different things. And so, yep, I just want to say thank you so much for giving me your time and let me know if I can give you some artistic ventures.